This episode of Capes and Lunatics is brought to you by Tweaked Audio. To get awesome headphones, go to tweakedaudio.com and use the coupon code Southgate to get 30% off, free shipping, and a lifetime warranty. Or you can get there through the link on our website, southgatemediagroup.com.
Recording has started.
There's a thin line between heroism and madness.
Here the line fades to nothing at all.
This is a world of Capes and Lunatics.
And nothing is off limits.
Hello, everyone. It's the big 7-5. We've hit 75 episodes, Capes and Lunatics. But have no fear. We're going to be talking The Man Without Fear and plenty of other things. Like Lilith Hellfire, who's woken from her stupor to discover she's famous now, at least on a certain TV show. And Charlie Esser's finished cooking pot pies for his children. Listen to Super Connectivity to get that joke. All right, let's get this train rolling. Capes and Lunatics starts right now.
I think you meant train wreck, but yes.
Potato. Touché.
Too.
Hold on, let's introduce, because remember, every podcast is someone's first. I am Phil, and joining me, as always, the master chef himself,
Charlie, the Professor Esser. It's a pleasure to be here.
and Florida's public enemy number one.
Hey, y'all, it's Lilith Hellfire. And if this is your first podcast of listening to Capes and Lunatics, welcome to the party. Glad to pop your cherry. It's Saturday night. Everybody that watches knows it's Saturday night.
That looks like water. That looks like water in her hand, but it may not be.
Might be iced vodka. It just might be.
Mine is pure apple juice. With just a little bit of hops for flavor.
So should we, all right, I know nothing about The Good Place, but should we get to this since they dropped a little Hellfire's trademark phrase? You know?
Well, that's the trademark from Wayne's World.
Oh, Mark Harmon can get it.
Yes.
And see, I'm not the only one that concurs about the fact that Mark Harmon can get it. I am in great company.
Mark Harmon
Thank
can
you.
Get it.
Well, you know, I mean, I'm not going to say he's not a handsome man. He's not my type, but that doesn't mean he's not everyone's type. I'm not a fancy man. I am not a fancy man. And,
well, you know what? Good Place is kind of a fancy show. Like, it sneaks up on you. Well, it doesn't really sneak up on you, but it does, kind of.
You know what? It's the kind of... you know what it is? The Good Place is a show for people that want to feel smart, but who have been told they aren't smart their whole lives. Because throughout the show, it is about the quote-unquote dumb characters that always drive the story forward. And this is why, again, as I will always say, my crazy fan theory is Jason is either the most enlightened of them or is the creator of the universe himself, who came into this scenario expressly because he found it an interesting idea and manipulated the universe to make it. Because if you watch, you see that Jason is the one that always like says something and then something happens. And then he's always the one that's like, it all works out okay. Jason knows stuff.
I kind of agree with that theory, if not only for that minor Easter egg of him being that monk when they first start in season 1.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I feel like there's Easter eggs about a lot of things, and that might be one of them. So
yeah, well, I'll tell you, man, that monk season 1,
that was great. Before he started talking, it was great.
I know that, and I will say this to this day: that is who should have played Black Bolt. Yeah, we laugh because it's a comedy, but you see him as a silent actor performing that role. He is really freaking incredible. He communicates so much with saying nothing.
It's something Charlie Esser would like. Let me say it to you that way.
The Good Place. That's how you sum it up. Yeah, but no.
Yeah.
It's like I was so resistant to it. Even though I love Kristen Bell, I was just like, The Good Place. I don't know. And then I started watching season 1, and I was just like, I think by the 3rd episode, I was just all in at that point. I was like, 13 episodes. What do I have to lose? This is great. Giant shrimp, and she's drunk. And
Okay, so I gotta ask, what did you think about the third Helmsworth or the fourth Helmsworth brother?
Well, it's a true story. Was that the actual guy though?
No, I don't think he's no. There is a Hemsworth.
Yeah, that is a pediatrician, and he's not a blonde like the other one.
Oh,
so I was just like, I didn't check the credits.
Yeah, that's an actor playing that Hemsworth. I don't think they actually got the actual Hemsworth, because I thought, did they just? I knew there was a Hemsworth who wasn't.
The shame of it's funny because that's how they are in Australia. They're like, you're just a pediatric surgeon. Yeah. It's so funny.
But what I loved about that was how it and not for nothing. Okay, this is to throw back to BoJack Horseman. It's sort of one of these things that, when a white man says it, it makes so much more sense. And it is literally Tahani's story of, I have someone who is so much more famous than me, and no matter all the good I do, nobody cares, because all they care about is, in her case, her sister or her brother. And it just sort of, maybe it's because he's a white man. Maybe it's because it is the Hemsworths, and we all know who they really are. And it just brings it all into a little bit more stark focus that, the Hemsworths. Yes, that would be awful to be the least attractive of the Hemsworth brothers, which of course is
still
the joke.
6'4" with an 8-pack, and he's a pediatric surgeon.
No. He only had a 6-pack, I think.
He said barely an 8-pack.
Swinging a magic hammer.
Yeah, he's just not there. But he's honestly, I love him. And that's the other reason I don't think it actually was him, because he does play that self-deprecating, like, I'm just such, like, to the point where you almost imagine like the Hemsworth family maybe was abusive. It's like, whatever you ever.
You gotta watch out for Luke and Liam. I'm just saying. saying. Chris, he's okay. Luke and Liam, keep your eyes on those two.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that when you get to the later Hemsworth brothers, it's like Baldwin's. They so as actors, I'm just saying. I
don't even know. Billy and Alex. Those are
Steven.
the two.
Well, those are the Steven. 1 and 2, and then there's a third. And
Steven.
There's more than 3 though, but I think only 3 of them act.
It goes Alex, Steven, Billy, and then there's a few extras.
The rest
Zeppo.
And the Waynes too. It's like you got Damon, you got Keenan, and you got
Marlon.
Oh, Kim, and then Marlon. Yeah.
Sean.
Just keeps going. She had like 16 kids.
That reminds me of a bit that Spy Magazine once did, where they tried to see who could get into who had a easier time getting into a club, a fake Wayans or a fake Baldwin. And this was back during the height of Wayans-ness. This was during Living Color era, and they had Tito Wayans and I forget what they gave the fake name for the Baldwin was, but actually Tito Wayans could get into clubs much better than the fake Baldwin. So just so you know, it's not all about being a white male. Sometimes it's about
in the Living Color era. Now I think we've swung back around to it's pretty good to be a white guy right now.
Yeah,
let's make that clear. It's never a bad time to be a white guy.
A comparison of Baldwins versus Wayans at the height of the Living Color. So
quote Chris Rock, I think I'm gonna stick with that. You go ahead and stick with that.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
But
season 3, like, oh my god, I can't believe it's only 13 episodes. That's my only complaint about The Good Place. But I feel like that's the perfect number. Otherwise, it might be one of those shows that's good, but you're just like, ooh, they just have to fill so much time. But I never feel like any episode is a filler.
So someone over there watching, like listening to us, because they did drop your line.
Oh,
I
Mark
know.
Herman can get it.
And we drop it enough. I was like, where did they hear it here? Did they hear it on Wayne's World? Where did they hear this?
I don't know, but let me tell you that the consensus for the whole Mark Herman can get it. I had a Spanish teacher in high school.
Mark Herman can get it.
And she was obsessed with Mark Anthony and Mark Herman. So it's like a running like little joke. But he is a handsome man, not my type, but he can still get it on occasion, maybe. from me, maybe. I don't know. But yes, I thought that was really funny because she goes, yeah, all the middle-aged white ladies or something. I was like, it's true. That is his market.
Yes. Yeah. But Maya Rudolph apparently, because like I said, I do feel
that was an improv.
Yeah. I think it was an improvised line. Though if it wasn't, it's just to equate to her as an actress. But yeah, I really did enjoy the Mark Harmon can get it. And I love the character of the judge in general. Although,
she binge watched NCIS all 300 episodes like Queen, slay. Like I could never sit through all those episodes. There's at least like 40 that I would skip.
Yeah. Although to be fair, she is an immortal being with literally nothing but all of Jeremy Bellamy to fill her time with.
Jeremy Bellamy.
My apology. It makes you wonder if there is a guy named Jeremy Bellamy that they decided to get in, or if that.
When I saw the episode title, I was just like, okay, that's weird. Are we going to build a bear? Like,
oh, you know what I forgot to do was to find out if Trevor was the demon that Chidi got mistaken for.
Oh, in season 2 when they're down there pretending.
Yes, and he says, "Oh, this is my man Trevor," and then they actually bring Trevor in, and was that Michael Ian Black?
No, that's that guy from Parks and Rec.
Okay, so it's the non-union Michael Ian Black substitute.
No, he's a guy in his own right, but
no, I know. I'm picking on him. No, actually,
season 2 when Dax Shepard shows up for just that little cameo, I like squealed. I'm not even gonna lie. I was like, yay, she got her husband work. Good for her.
Yeah. You know, my cousin is good friends with Zach Shepard.
Yeah, we've had that conversation.
Oh, okay, yes. It's my one because he's from Michigan, man.
Yeah,
he's from Michigan, man. Yeah, Michigan folks. But yeah, no, yeah, but I do have to go back and watch it and see if that is who he's supposed to be mistaken for, because I think that makes it all the more hilarious.
Yes. But the center of it being philosophy, like that seems like a total nerd moment. Then they kind of lampshaded with Chidi being the moral philosopher professor, but it just kind of works. It's kind of like Futurama, where you're just like, the premise is kind of ridiculous, but then you have like all these really smart people in the writer's room just doing all these really like cool like Easter eggs, and like their thing is math at Futurama. Obviously, in this universe, it's moral philosophy.
Well, but what I love, mine fell. But what I love about that is, again, like I said, that here's what's great about it, because of course philosophy is only useful in application, and you wouldn't think about that about philosophy, but that actually is the kind of point of philosophy. Is it's not just supposed to be talked about in a room; it's supposed to be about how you live your life. But of course, for Chidi, it is all about being in a room, talking about something, going through something, thinking about something.
Because he's an academist, and that's what they do.
Yes, this is true. And everybody hates moral philosophers. They go, I know. Which I just love. I just love the fact that not only does everyone hate moral philosophers, but they're like, no, yeah, it's a fair cop. Yeah, we get it. But you know, and of course, when Chidi actually does go over the edge on that, when he does find out about,
you don't appreciate it at first, but then you're like, oh, I get it. Thank you for that.
Can we seriously not eat blueberries anymore, though? That's like my main concern, because that's like half my smoothie content. So I need to.
What about? Oh, you can't eat blueberries anymore. What was the deal with blueberries? They were
migrant workers are treated horribly, I guess. That pick the blueberries
yeah. Although, fun fact. Well, okay, so Australian blueberries are actually grown in Australia because my third cousin actually introduced blueberries to Australia, because they didn't have blueberries in Australia, and he actually was the first American, because he moved to Australia, and he was, oh man, I really feel like blueberry pie. He went to a store to buy a blueberry pie. He found out what's a blueberry, and he's like, oh wow, nobody has blueberries here, and so he got permission to import blueberries to Australia, and really became, I believe it was my mom's cousin Bernard. Actually, introduced blueberries to Australia. So I don't know. So if there is exploitations of migrant blueberry pickers in Australia, they got to talk to the Australian government about that. I don't know, man.
Well, they're kind of a mess right now at the current moment, like in real life. So.
Yeah, well,
But isn't everybody's government kind of a mess right now?
Yeah.
Can't go throwing stones in glass houses. I know. Trust me.
All right, can we switch gears?
Yes, Philip. We know you have an agenda.
We didn't even
Watch
get
The
to
Good
the
Place
magic
if you haven't been
door.
watching.
On that note,
so me and Charlie just barely hit on it on super connectivity. Lilith, did you watch any Daredevil season 3 yet?
I did.
How much? I watched 4 episodes. Esther watched 3.
I'm 5 in.
Oh, she beat me.
she beat all 3 of us.
Oh,
And
so-
she watched
To
The
be
Good
fair,
Place.
I don't have kids, so.
Yeah.
So you saw the end of 4 and you saw that big shout out to Daredevil Born Again at the end of
Yes.
4, right? Yes.
Yeah.
That
So I was just
speeding
like,
yeah.
yeah, like I feel like kind of jealous of people who don't read the comic books at this point.
So they don't know what's coming.
I was really surprised that they've because like I said, season 2, I was just like everything kind of just wasn't like for me. It was like
Like I
Punisher
said-
got shoehorned in so we could spin it off. We talked about it on Wade's World, I know, but
Well, no,
season
we talked
3 is-
about comic
Oh, it's
capers.
comic capers,
When
yeah.
we reviewed Born Again, scroll down or go to Capes and Lunatic Sidekicks. But yeah, like I said, Daredevil season 2, they kind of had like shoehorn Punisher in, to, kind of
But
like
season
backdoor him
3
into a series.
So, but I'm scared to get attached because we've gotten Iron Fist canceled from Netflix as well as Luke Cage. Are we doing the Heroes for Hire on the Disney streaming service or not? Because these are like, so Iron Fist was canceled for low viewership, and Luke Cage was canceled because they couldn't get along with the writers' room. Creative
Who couldn't
differences.
get along? Marvel or Netflix couldn't get along with the writers' room?
Netflix couldn't get along with the Luke Cage writers' room. So they were having creative differences.
So that does sound like they're going to go to Disney as Heroes for Hire.
So, I mean, that leaves everything else up in the air with Jessica Jones. Like, we're actually getting somewhere with the Netflix universe. And now it's just like, okay, everybody wants to play in their own sandbox. And
Yeah. I mean, the announcement's got to come because, I mean, they're not going to take, Luke Cage and Iron Fist off and just leave Daredevil and Jessica Jones here.
because
Right?
those are the 2 highest rated. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they might. It's just that and they did say that they would be. I mean, with Iron Fist, because that's the thing. We got a lot more detail. At least I feel there was a lot more said about Iron Fist's cancellation than I've gotten on Luke Cage. Like on Iron Fist cancellation, it was like, but he's, I heard he was going to Disney. Phil says that he just heard that he might go to Disney. I heard that he was.
It's all rumors right now at this point until the Disney streaming service is up and people are paying for it.
Yeah, but I kind of feel like, and but I do know they did say, but he can still show up in other people's shows.
I think that, I mean, for the 5 Iron Fist TV show fans, okay, sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, I do think that he works great when he is with Luke Cage. I think that the 2 actors really got the Power Man Iron Fist dynamic down very well.
I think that was his best appearance on any of these shows is when he was in that episode of Luke Cage.
Well, it's like more than one, but yeah, that whole little arc, it was cute.
Yeah. But he was the best in Luke Cage season 2. Yeah.
Daredevil season 3 is shaping up to be like, I think the best of the Netflix universe.
Oh yeah, it's definitely really a great show. I mean, although I do, man, I like I said, I have a hard time. I really don't like Daredevil in this. I don't like Matt Murdock in this. And Phil was saying
how he's treating his friends.
Yeah.
Well, not just how he's treating his friends, but how he's just being. It's like,
like I said, head trauma, got a building drop.
Well, yeah, but it's like, I did all this stuff, and now I'm mad because I can't continue to be a superhero. And when I get the idea that I'm mad I can't continue to be a superhero, you could also say, oh, wait, but I'm also alive.
And a lawyer.
I'm a lawyer. As you said, I'm and I still have most of my. He still has this sense of touch, although he says he can't smell anything or taste anything. Although then it's like, he just had to freaking aerate his nose. Like, just a
pot.
Yeah, and not for nothing. It's like, if you just gone to a hospital, they would have found that in 5 minutes. It's like, let's give him an MRI. Oh yeah, that's why you can't smell it. That's why you have as nauseum. It's the also ability to smell. It's because your olfactory nerve is blocked by a blood clot. That's just go in there, get that out, and now you can smell things just fine. Yeah, you whiny little brat. You know?
Yeah, he does have his twerpish behavior, but I mean, in the comic books, Matt Murdock has gone through that, and
Well, like I was telling him before, I mean, Matt Murdock's had several like nervous breakdowns too. I mean, the first one, I mean, most famously in Born Again, you know.
Is that how they're going to explain Mike Murdock away eventually?
Oh no.
oh god,
maybe that's the maybe if people discover he's Daredevil, that originally was what Mike Murdock was created for. He's like, oh no, it's not me as Daredevil, it's my twin brother who's Daredevil.
But didn't you say they actually brought him in canon recently?
Well, yeah, there's an Inhuman who can like create stuff out of thin air. So yeah, so like Mike Murdock's running around now. I think he might actually be with the Kingpin now, even.
Oh, okay.
I just wonder if that's gonna come up in they're doing the Death of Daredevil now.
Yeah.
Because once that's over, they're gonna have like a Man Without Fear series, not Daredevil, Man Without Fear. So I wonder if that's gonna be his twin brother, or if it's gonna be some Blind Spot.
Damn it! Are we getting
is this the Clone Saga all over again?
Well, like I was telling Lilith the other night, I was like, like
it took forever.
It's Marvel and DC cliche. You have to replace, your heroes every so often.
That Clone Saga, man, we went through it already. I do not want to live through it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's either going to be the magical twin brother, or it's going to be that kid Blind Spot.
Okay.
Not to be confused with the TV show on NBC.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, but Lilith, what do you think about Agent Dex? Bullseye.
It's still better than Colin, so
Yes.
I would say that Bullseye is like a D-list villain, but his dynamic with Daredevil, when written properly, is great. And if he does decide to pull the cheap Gwen Stacy death or whatever they want to do,
oh yeah, because Electra's not here, is he gonna do that with Karen Page?
I really feel like Discount Gwen Stacy's gonna get it this season.
Oh. No,
don't feel bad. I called the girl in Venom Discount Gwen Stacy. That's their thing. It's fine.
Okay. I actually, so here's my prediction. I've only seen 3 episodes, so you guys who are 2 episodes ahead, 1 and 2 respectively, you're gonna say, "Oh, the foolish fantasy." My favorite theory is that Julie is going to die because of something that Daredevil does, and that is what's going to inspire him to become Bullseye and start working for the Kingpin. That basically he's going to blame. So as far as who gets randomly, now maybe that's going to lead to him deciding to kill Karen Page because he figures out somehow that Karen Page is associated with Daredevil. But I don't think they're actually going to kill Karen Page. I think that it's going to be, but that might be his plot, because I think that the death of Julie, because here's the thing, even though he is totally stalking her and totally pathological, I think his erotomatic fixation on her is going to be enough to drive him to supervillainy once the reality of the person is taken away from him, and he can only have my vengeance.
I don't know. Maybe Daredevil. I'm thinking maybe Daredevil just finally breaks into that penthouse, and Agent Dex is I don't know. He's fired. They find him incompetent. Maybe he was
Oh, the good old Eddie Brock.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it's possible. Although not for nothing. I mean, it's not like Agent Dex is going to be working a 24-hour shift. He has time off.
Maybe he's the one who's supposed to be on shift. I don't know. And he's off stalking that woman. And he'll blame Daredevil for that. Yeah, like Eddie Brock. But D'Onofrio.
Yeah, but no,
What? Good.
Yeah. No, I do think that the introduction of the character of Julie is important, because you really do this whole stalker story with that. And I think that I don't think you get to introduce that without there being some kind of payoff to it.
Like I was kind of saying before, I think they introduced that to like show that he's like some kind of sociopath or something. It's like, oh, I got this girlfriend, but it's just some girl he's stalking.
Yeah.
I mean, they might do more with her, but I'm just saying, I think that's setting him up as he's this sociopath. Who guns down suspects who are like trying to run away.
Is the fact that he has all these details on him. It's not just that he's stalking, because let's put it this way, if he's just stalking her and is just using it as a cover, I don't think he's going to be that detailed with his conversation with the shrink. I think his conversation with the shrink was meant to suggest that he at least felt he had an emotional connection.
Yeah, but is
that
he
went way
yeah,
deeper.
but is he just a creepy stalker with good
He's
resources?
Urkel.
Because he is an FBI agent.
Yeah, well, no, he
With
is a creepy
with the
stalker.
swarm
You can
and-
be both. You can be a creepy
Yeah.
stalker and erotomatically fixated on your victim. You know,
Yeah.
but the fact of the matter is, if you have an erotomatic fixation, your emotions don't go away. You're still erotomatically fixated, even when they, you know. In fact, that's why it's a fixation, because even if they reject you, you say no. This is the reality. The
Urkel
reality
syndrome,
is my
right?
fixation.
We got it.
Yeah, you know. So I think that comes back, and like I said, I think she dies horribly as a result of something Daredevil does, and that's what's going to push Dexter to the dark side, because I think that pushes Point Dexter to the dark side, because I think I think he needs something to push him, you know. I mean, I was really thinking the FBI agent was going to get pushed to the dark side just for the money, but he actually just winds up being a better agent because he needs the money, you know. So, and I think Point Dexter's in the same boat where he gets to kill. There's no reason for him to not want to be an FBI agent.
Well, that's the thing with me, that FBI agent. I mean, he's doing good, but it's like, was he setting out to save the world? No, he's arresting all these guys off Fisk's information so he can give his kid a swimming pool.
Well, no, so he can deal with the debt of saving his sister-in-law's cancer life.
I was making a joke, all right. I
know, but you really alter you alter his motivation. His motivation was, my sister-in-law has cancer and can't get insurance because we live in a dystopian world.
Hey, isn't that the theme to Breaking Bad?
Oh, she's gonna cook some meth, some blue meth.
Yeah, well, maybe she's
They'll change it to red meth.
Maybe you know what? Maybe she was a lit major in college and can't cook meth.
Well, no, at least they were smart enough over here to not have the gangsters put the name of the superhero on their drugs. Luke Cage.
Or BoJack. It's an honor, though, to have drugs named after you. Don't you know that, Philip?
Oh yes, poor Sarah Lynn.
But no, D'Onofrio's excellent as always, especially like that hallucination thing, like Matt was doing.
Oh, yeah. What I loved about that hallucination was how different D'Onofrio looks as Matt's ideal Kingpin,
and in the white suit.
Yeah, and because when you look at him when they're shooting him in prison, and this is just D'Onofrio as just the total method actor he is. You can see he's got a little bit of an emaciation on his neck, so that you can see that he's kind of a faded man. And when you see him in the suit in Matt's mind, he's full on Kingpin, and I love that aspect of it. But I do wonder, and this is my thing, is Kingpin really playing 8-dimensional chess here? You know, is he really, oh no, I had bought that building because I knew that's where they'd put me, and I got rid of the Albanians specifically because of reasons that I have, as opposed to he gave them literally the first one in alphabetical order. Here are the Albanians, you know. You know.
Well, do you want a spoiler from episode 4?
Yes. Okay. Give me the spoiler.
Oh, well, it's not. I mean, it's not that big, but Matt finds out that Kingpin hired the guy to stab him in prison, so they would take him out of the prison.
Now I'm just waiting for him to blow it up, blow Matt Murdock's place up, and for Matt to go, "I knew it."
Nothing about this at Gangster Fist.
Yeah. Well, I do feel they're going to bring his wife to his secure penthouse.
If he can get back in the country, yeah.
She needs to be someplace safe and secure and close. And what's closer than the secure penthouse that you're in with 24-hour FBI guards? You know, protected from all your enemies because you gave up the Albanians. And they got Mother Teresa, man.
What kind of gangster puts Mother Teresa on his back?
Oh, why does an Albanian put was Mother Teresa Albanian? I don't think she was. I
thought she was Indian, as from India, or.
Maybe her family's Indian, But she's like she's your classic saint story of the person born to wealth who gives up their wealth to go work with the poor.
Although, isn't she not considered a saint anymore?
No, she's considered a saint.
Okay, there's like some...
there's no backseas in sainthood.
Are you sure?
I am 100% positive there's no back.
It's not like Bill Cosby. They can't take your doctorates away.
Well, no, it's okay. So
Definitely.
it's an understanding of saint. Here's the thing about sainthood: the church recognizes a saint. They don't actually make you a saint. Essentially, you are a saint, and then through good works and miracles and testimony, people recognize your sainthood, and that is the process of canonization. It is a formal process, but you actually are a saint, even if you are not formally recognized by a saint as the church. So when someone say, "Oh, you're a saint," that may actually be true. It's just the church hasn't investigated it yet. The church is a church of men. They can't know every single saint that's out there. There's probably hundreds more saints we don't even know about.
Catholicism, weird.
But
every religion's weird in its own way.
But that was one of my favorite things is the priest telling little Matt Murdock, Lil Matt, that your catechism teacher isn't a theologian. It says I don't think you probably know more about the doctrine of original sin than she does. Says so I don't have to take it. It's like, no, you have to take it.
I just love how I keep saying, "Oh yeah, you're very argumentative, and you're very good at arguing and stuff." I'm like, "Oh, okay, yeah, lawyer." I was waiting for him to say, "You should be a lawyer."
Or a geometry teacher. Shout out to all the geometry teachers out there. You know who you are. You know what you did.
But speaking of the church, I mean, everyone likes Sister Maggie.
Yeah.
She won't take his crap. And I'm only 4 episodes in. When are they going to drop the bomb about who she really is?
I know. I'm just waiting.
Well, they did make the point that she once considered leaving the order for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And there was the whole yada yada yada.
Or your father was a big, everyone around here was a big fan of your father. I watched him fight. I'm like, I'm sure you did.
Hey, yo, Adrian.
You know what? It's an interesting turn of events, is what I'll say. Honestly, if they do make that reveal, that's cool. After reading Captain Marvel this week, I'm a little down on motherly reveals.
I just wonder if they're going to...
It could be worse. It could be a Bendis father reveal.
Yeah, and you'd be like, "Oh, I don't care."
You know what? I'm going to say this. I will honestly say I think that the Life of Captain Marvel reveal was as bad as Bendis's secret father reveal, because it is just... It doesn't make any sense canonically. It is completely out of left field.
Get out, Charlie!
No, I'm sorry. The idea that Captain Marvel's spoilers, the idea that Captain Marvel's mom was actually a Kree agent the whole time, she's not Cookie Cat, okay? The reveal that she was actually evil the whole time doesn't work, okay? And the reality, when you do the reveal that Rose Quartz was actually Pink Diamond the whole time, it's what's actually truth now. It's interesting, but this is also only a series that's been on for 5 years at most, and this is a series that has been around since Ms. was this new radical way for women to identify themselves. This is a series that's been around for
the 70s?
40 years.
Okay.
Yeah, for 40 years. Yeah,
they just
the 70s. That's when it started. That's why. That was because Ms. was a big deal that you had a character named Ms. Marvel.
Well, like I said, we talked about this already. They just need to explain it better in story. But of course, I think it's a retcon because I bet you money they're gonna. That's how it's gonna be in the movie, that she's half Kree.
Well, yeah, but.
Well, Lilith, here's what I'm thinking. They're gonna do this, especially for the movie, because instead of, even though he was a Kree, instead of the white man and the magic wishing machine giving Carol her powers, she always had the potential inside her to be this hero.
Yeah.
That's how
Still too much like the other Captain Marvel, but whatever. We're just gonna move on. What's next?
Sorry. Okay. We got on to moms.
That's all right. So, all right. So,
did anybody watch Titans?
That's me.
Yes, episode 2. I did watch it. Yes.
How did you feel?
here's my thing. I liked it.
It was all Hawk and Dove setup. Like, get out of here.
Yeah, I know. That's what I said. The only Titans we saw were Robin and Raven. So I don't know. And of course, I'm a big Dick Grayson fanboy, but I think this would work better if you did a Dick Grayson show where he, him and Raven can road trip every episode, and like you get different people every episode.
He can't be road tripping with no 13-year-old little girl.
Well, all right, then just
staying in motels. Come on, this ain't the profession. Leon the professional, bro.
What is DC? But no, even if he does it himself, and then you could bring in, Hawk and Dove, for an episode, and then
Hawk and Dove is getting I don't think they're still getting their own show anymore, are they?
I don't know.
The problem is
backtracked on that.
The problem is Philip thinks that people know who Nightwing is, and
I said start him as Robin.
People know Dick Grayson even if they don't know Nightwing. They'll just assume you mean Robin. But
everyone knows
people
Dick.
Really know
Charlie
Dick
Esser. Everyone knows Dick.
You don't know.
I think people know Burt Ward more than they know Dick Grayson.
Lilith
That's all I'm going to say on that. No, I mean honestly, okay. If you said who is Batman's sidekick?
Well, to their target demo of where it's at, everybody absolutely does know who Dick Grayson is and who Nightwing is. To be fair, it is on DC Universe. It's not on Netflix. It's not on another show.
No, it is
to their
Netflix.
Target audience, everybody knows who Dick Grayson is.
In the world, but
anybody who subscribes to DC Universe, they know.
Yeah, if you're subscribing to DC, I'm sure you have an inkling of who.
Yeah. But is that okay? So let me put it this way: is that their target audience?
That is the target audience. That's who
really? They just
is.
want DC fans going to DCU. I mean, not for nothing. Here's what I'm going to say: at least Disney is smart enough to know we're the Disney. We're the Disney streaming.
Okay.
Service.
Well, here's the other thing: if
we're not the DC streaming universe.
Yeah, but
to be fair, AT&T is about to do their own streaming, which makes this whole thing null and void. So.
Yeah, well, exactly. It's like AT&T, Warner Time, AOL. They should just go with AOL. It's the one name
Warner Media Group or whatever it is now.
They should just call themselves AOL.
No.
They own it. They should use it.
No.
And
nobody should use AOL. If you still have an at AOL.com email,
I do, but I use it for all my junk mail.
I do, but I use it for all of my mail.
But no, I mean, basically, Charlie, the whole thing about Titans episode 2 is there was this history with Hawk and Dove and Robin. Batman didn't want him working with them. They were like the bad kids. But then by the end of the episode, like he tells them, "Oh, I've changed," and they see how brutal he's become.
Yeah.
Okay, but isn't Hawk and Dove? I mean, like I said, I know these characters literally only from Justice League, the Unlimited. Isn't like their whole thing that one is violent and one is less violent?
Bad cop and worse cop, yes.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, first off, I've never got Hawk and Dove as a concept for characters at all.
It's like Hawkman and Hawkgirl, but like on steroids. It's more interesting.
Order and chaos, isn't that it?
No, but okay, so Hawkman and Hawkgirl actually have some kind of, whether they're Thanagarians or Egyptian gods.
I feel like Hawk and Dove was created from that idea, but like let's make it a little more simple, just to be honest. Kind of like how Green Arrow is Batman, but in a different way.
Yeah, well, actually, Green Arrow was in a different comic book company originally, wasn't he? Was he? Yeah, so he was just somebody else's Batman pastiche based off of Robin Hood.
Well, no, they set out to create him. Like literally, hey, we need a guy that's like Batman but not Batman.
Yeah, and
give him another theme: arrows instead of bats.
Yeah, arrows. Everyone loves arrows. Trick arrows, man. I wonder if did Green Arrow invent trick arrows, or was there another archer before him who did trick arrows? That's an interesting question.
Before Green Arrow, probably a trick arrow would be one made out of metal instead of wood, right?
Yeah, it's pretty old.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, throughout the history of literature, like, what is the history of like trick shots with arrows and things like that?
Well, trick shots, that definitely goes way, way back before Green Arrow. Yeah. But like trick arrows themselves, I don't know. That's a good question.
It's like the one thing that, DC, well, except DC didn't come up with it. Someone else came up with it, and then DC bought it. Like
As
Shazam.
As you do.
Anyway,
Poor Fawcett.
so he's in Supermax now, huh? Does he have a toilet? Have they established that there's a toilet?
Oh,
yet?
oh,
He
Green
does
Arrow.
have a toilet.
Yeah.
He has a toilet. Yes.
No, wait, I don't know.
Well,
Did he
he's
have
a
a
ri-
toilet?
well,
He
he's
had
a
a
ri-
shower.
There were
Reforms that
showers.
Peter Elder put into effect.
They didn't
Yeah.
show his toilet in his cell. You know what? Now that I think
I
about
can't
it,
remember, but they did have showers there, so I don't.
you can pee in the shower. You're
Yeah.
fine.
Well, Charlie, he's a rich white guy too.
But you
so.
can't poop in the shower, Lilith. You can't.
Oh,
poop
you
in the shower.
can. It's frowned upon, but you can absolutely do it if you want.
Well, it's very frowned upon.
I just learned more about Little Hellfire than I've ever wanted to know.
If I ever went to prison, trust me, I would poop in the shower and be the one that everybody thought was crazy to leave alone. I'm just
I
saying.
don't think they do that. I don't think that. You see, that's the thing. When you're actually dealing with actual crazy people, I think things like you can't like I'll pretend to be crazy and that'll get all the. I think that just attracts the crazy people. Like, oh hey,
Are you just dropping it
You
on the
do it
ground?
too, huh?
Lilith, are you just dropping it on the ground, or are you just like
Just-
throwing it?
Yeah.
Are you
No, I'm
throwing
not
it
gonna
all
throw it, but I will poop in the shower if I'm in prison. I'm just saying.
You
Warning.
know, I always remember the episode of The Simpsons when they go to New York and Bart tries to panhandle on the subway and says he was born without taste buds, and I'll prove it by licking this subway pole. And he licks the subway pole, and he goes, "I've been way over my head." So you know, that's sort of I think like when I get into prison, this is what I'll do. That's to me,
If
that's
I'm
always
not
like,
planning on going to prison, if I ever end up there.
if I ever go to prison, I'm going to keep my head down, not cause any problems, just try to do my time, man.
But
Then you're gonna turn into Fire Fist.
What?
What was the kid's name from Deadpool? I'm sorry.
Oh yeah. No, well, that was the kid using his prison pocket. I'm
Right.
sorry.
Whoa!
No. Yeah, Fire Fist.
But yeah, on
Oh.
Arrow, I don't remember if he had a toilet, but I know they had showers. So
Yeah, I thought
Yeah,
that
and
was
again,
one of a
not
really
the
good
same
premiere.
You know, some people don't need to shower every day. Everyone needs to poop or pee at least 2 or 3 times a day.
Uh-oh.
Or pee.
Okay.
If you're only peeing once a day, you're not getting enough fluids. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, I'm getting enough fluids. Don't you worry about me.
Yeah, honestly, though, I'm sure you pee at least 2 or 3 times a day.
Philip, that is the wrong drop. Absolutely the wrong
oh,
drop.
sorry, wrong button.
I think we're fighting a little bit too much about Phil tonight.
Anyway, oh, did you watch The Flash?
Yeah, I did.
No, Charlie.
Oh,
You don't matter, Phil. Don't
Was
you
there a
know
new
what?
one? I just saw the.
just saw the premiere.
yes, there was a second one after the premiere. Yeah.
What, they're going to keep on making these things? Oh, man. No, I did not watch them.
Oh,
I actually, I got lots of people that are very demanding of me.
we
You
know.
know? So, no, I did not watch the second episode.
But I did have a question from an old high school friend of mine. Hey, Jeff.
Mm-hmm.
Lilith.
Oh,
Lilith, why the first 2 episodes this season on The Flash, every time we see Joe West, he's sitting down? Did the actor get injured or?
Well, he is a man of a particular age. They do have quite some time off, and he was one of the people not doing any projects or anything like that. But he could have hurt himself, but I think maybe it might be a reveal that he his character might have sustained something over the 5 months that we were gone.
Oh.
I don't think it's the actor, because that actor's a dancer,
Yeah.
Like a reveal to the audience, or do you I mean,
Yeah, the
characters
audience.
I was gonna say the characters have to know, right?
Yeah. Although those
but
kids
I don't
do
think
get
it's-
wrapped up in their own garbage, to be fair. But no, because it wouldn't. He couldn't. It happened because the premiere picks up right after.
Yeah, there was no time like usual between the finale
it
and the
might
premiere.
just be
Yeah.
the actor hurt himself or something like that. But I think
Or
it'd be
maybe
cool.
he's just sitting down because they want to emphasize that he's an old man and is tired.
And that's why he found the lounge and never told anybody. I still love that. That's so.
Yeah, well, not for like when they first go there, he's actually like asleep on the couch, isn't he? Yeah, he's taking an old man nap like I do.
I just can't believe you. I just
Like
can't
I
believe.
do.
I just can't believe you have a speedster.
Like I do.
I mean, I know it's a big building, but a super speedster can't check that whole
There's
building.
not the brightest bulb,
Yeah, I
or
guess.
in the box or the sharpest tool.
I mean, at one point they were looking
But
to
not
make
for
money.
nothing. Hasn't at some point he actually did check every room in the building at some point? Didn't they have to check everything in the building?
Well,
at
they
some
all
point?
seemed surprised the lounge was there.
Yeah, maybe it's another one of those timeline editions, bro. Like,
yeah, Flashpoint.
Oh, maybe Nora changing the time. Maybe
Yeah.
Nora changing the timeline. Yeah,
Exactly.
There we go. Now we got lounges everywhere.
I like that timeline. More places to nap. I like it. Let's keep it going. I'm telling you, once you get a certain age, you appreciate naps, bro. Like,
and we got a better look at the big bad cicada.
yeah. Okay, I'm scared for the episode, the death of Vibe. I'm just like,
oh yeah.
I don't like the retcon of him and Gypsy. Like, they can feel each other's vibes and stuff. It's like, then you should have just went to Earth 18, a-hole.
Oh!
Like, I wanted their love so bad. Cisco deserves love.
I know.
You know, Teen Titans Go did an episode with Vibe recently.
Oh, God. I can only imagine.
Well, they all switched powers. So they all wanted different powers. They were bored with their powers, so they all got different powers. And Cyborg got Aquaman's powers, and Starfire got either Plastic Man or Elongated Man's powers. Raven got Superman's powers, and Robin got Vibe's powers. But like, you know, classic Vibe, breakdancer Vibe.
Oh, nice. 80s Vibe.
Yeah, and so so when they defeat the villain at the end, he says, "There's a reason they call it breakdancing." He just vibes up on them. It was great. So people still remember classic Vibe. That's
great, because it wasn't that long ago. Honestly, it really wasn't that long. I'm glad that they're doing more with the character of Vibe. I was really surprised that that's who they chose to be on, you know, Team Flash. I was like, okay, that's cool.
Yeah, well, you know,
representation. That's nice.
Like the start of the Marvel universe, they gotta like reach for what they can get, and they can do great things. When you have to make it work, you can do great things. That's one thing we can all agree. That's the DCU's problem, is they never have to. No one is selling them make it work. They actually get to grab whatever they want off the shelf, and they can put it right there. And it's unearned. It's unearned.
Different timeline.
Put it right up there.
I think that's the problem with Charlie. He's just from a different dimension. He's from that weird Berenstain Bear where they spell it really weird dimension.
No. Yeah. I'm from a completely different one. Mine is the Berenstain Bears. So it's a completely different one. It's not even Stain versus Stein. It's BEAR.
All right,
because they're bears. It doesn't make sense to have a series about bears if they don't have bear in the title. Their name should include the word bear. That's how you name cartoon characters.
Good Lord.
How can you be from a universe that doesn't have animal characters with their animal name in their name?
Anyway.
On that note,
while we're on the CW, did you see they cast Jimmy Olsen or James Olsen's sister for Supergirl?
No, I don't like spoilers for Supergirl, but
okay, but I'm just like, it's just.
Does Jimmy Olsen have a sister?
Well, I guess now he does. But that's what I'm saying. I'm like, instead of bringing in more DC characters, like I know at one point they had Wynn's mother. Now they're gonna have James's sister. It's like they go into that family well too much.
Well, they did do Lucy Lane, to be fair. That's and she's a real comic book character. So,
and to be fair. She is a real comic book character.
Well, Lucy Lane is Jimmy Olsen's sister. I don't know.
Okay, well, that's my question. Is this someone who actually exists? But more to the point, they don't have the entire DC universe to pull from. Because
they got Superman, though, so it's just like...
I know, but that's the thing. Is like, okay, so they have the Superman family. But that really is it. They can't, because they won't be able to... And they also now have restrictions, possibly, unless Batwoman is going to be in the Supergirl universe.
You know, fingers crossed.
They have limitations on the on the Bativerse, you know.
Well, who knows
exactly who?
Well, we're getting Mrs. Freeze, Nora Freeze, so you know.
Well, who knows? Because from the looks of it, it looks like on that crossover they're going to do a bunch of different dimensions. Because
they're doing Elseworlds.
They got that. They had that picture with like Stephen Amell and Grant Gustin switching identities, and then Lilith. Okay. Did you see the Smallville connection?
No, what was it?
I guess I don't know if it's supposed to be that universe or not, but supposedly they were shooting something at the actual house from Smallville.
Yeah, they're using the same house for the Kent farm.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, to be fair, Barnaby is a hop skip from the studio that they shoot in, so I don't know.
It's probably logistically very convenient too.
It is.
I mean,
Yeah.
because it wouldn't have gotten chosen in the first place if it wasn't.
Well,
You know.
there's the whole thing about why they shot in Barnaby versus how Arrow initially in the first 2 seasons shot more out in public, but that's a discussion for another time. Anyway, but no, that's pretty cool. I miss the Kent farm.
Yeah, I just wish there was. I don't know. I guess like the farm showing up again is way less impressive to me than anything else in the series showing up again. You know,
I mean, 10 years, it's iconic, but you know.
It's easier.
I mean,
it's probably easier than getting any of the actors. Yeah.
Well, Tom wants to be Lex Luthor on Supergirl, so I don't. And
Well,
you know, Michael wants to just be Lex in the movies, and I say, let's do that, please.
Well, honestly, I think he actually was one of the best Lexes.
Yes,
I think,
him and Clancy.
Yeah, he was. He really. I think he understood the complexity of Lex. He didn't make Lex just a villain. He was a guy who understood that Lex is actually fighting against his villainy, even though he is drawn to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I mean that's a lot of the writers, of course. You don't want to always give it all to the actor, but as an actor, he was able to embody that well from what the writers had set out for him. So, I mean, I'd love to see him back as Lex Luthor. You know, why not?
That crossover is going to be a mess. God, we do not need a Batwoman TV show. I'm
So,
sorry.
You know what they need to do? They need to do what Superboy did when they went to the Elseworld.
Oh, okay.
And have like that episode with like the older Superman from, and just put Tom Welling, but give him like the great streaks in his hair.
Black suit Superman though, so that's the only thing I'm happy about. I'm just like resurrection suit.
Okay, I mean, why not? Okay, I just like I said, I would love for them to actually have a 1940s Superman in it, and just have someone be that. And like I said, put Tom Welling, put gray streaks in his hair.
He's already got him, sweetie. He's already got him. He's a silver fox right now.
Well, then there you go. Then have him be 1940s Superman. You know, as he came to Earth in the 40s, and this is the universe in which Superman has always been there since the 40s. And that is a great story to tell. You know, I love when they do that. You know, and that was, of course, where you get all sorts of great things from the original Superman series. That's where you first get, Red Kryptonite actually making you morally weak as opposed to making you physically weak. Although that was actually also from Superman 3, best one, but that was not colored red, so you don't.
The tobacco kryptonite.
Tar.
Oh, tar. Yes.
It was used with tar.
Moving on.
But it worked, man. It made evil Superman, and it was such a good idea that everyone stole it and gives no credit to the best Superman.
Well, that's the history of Superman. People getting no credit. Shots fired and all shade intended.
But not as bad as Batman as far as giving no credit, though.
But no, speaking of this live action DC, I mean, that movie universe continues to be more and more of a mess. Did you see the Flash movie is once again pushed back till 2021?
Just cancel it. Nobody cares. Sorry, Ezra. Sorry, baby.
Just use the TV people.
No one cares about a Flash movie.
Have they shot stuff on this yet? Have they sunk money into it?
Yeah, they've sunk money into it.
Have they shot scenes for it?
Supposedly.
Well, then I guess they're kind of in this. So right now they're in this. They're in a gambler's paradox. They've lost a lot of money. Do they keep on playing and hope they make it back, or do they cut their losses?
No one cares about a Flash movie anymore. Nobody.
Well,
I don't think Ezra Miller cares anymore.
They kept saying, fair, I'm not sure. I'm not, but they may be thinking, Deadpool was on the shelf for so long, and if someone has a passion,
but there's nobody like Ryan Reynolds trying to be. Ezra Miller is not Ryan Reynolds. He does not embody who the Flash is. There's a huge difference.
No. But what I'm saying is maybe like the writer or the director.
They changed 8 times. Nobody cares about this project. Nobody.
Oh yeah, I have no idea why.
And they kept saying, "Oh, it's going to be so much different than the TV show." Then, everything they keep putting out, it's like that's from the TV show.
Jewish. I think that's the only difference.
That's the only thing. Yeah.
Which cool beans, but I watched the TV show. I don't need to see that on the big screen. Give me something different. Give me a damn blonde Barry Allen, please.
Or, in the words of Charlie Esser, steer into the skid. If you want to steal from the TV show, just put the TV show on the big screen. Get those characters up there.
that's what every 2 years it should just be the crossover as a movie. Like just that way we get a big budget.
Yeah, the only problem is that I mean, Paramount was trying to do that with Next Generation, and it just didn't work when they were trying to do like, oh, let's do the TV series and the movies at the same time. It just
it didn't work for a lot of reasons, mainly because it was Paramount. Paramount at the time that they were doing that, like, oh my god!
It's not like Warner Brothers can throw stones.
Oh,
let's be honest here, okay?
Well, Warner Brothers specifically can actually throw stones. I was watching Big Bang, I think it was like episode 3, and Penny like totally lampshaded the fact that Vampire Diaries was canceled. Well, it wasn't canceled. It ran its course, but it got canceled. Did you guys see that episode? No? She's talking about the Vampire Diaries in like episode 3 of this season.
I think I remember that.
Warner Brothers, of course,
I think I remember that, yeah.
So I was just like, oh, I see you, WB. But it was time for that show to go. Don't be bitter.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, I mean it is what it is. But I think Warner's is in a mess as usual.
Not as usual. It's been the last like 8 years where I'm just like, I don't have a clue what you guys are doing. I don't know what you're trying to go for. I don't know who you're making products for, but it ain't me.
You see, it's weird for me because when I was growing up, of course, DC was the one that had it all right. DC was Superman, and then it was Batman in the 1980s, and they really understood what they were doing, and even though they didn't do a crossover universe, they built really great characters from Christopher Reeve on through to Michael Keaton. But then you also can look at it as like, well, yeah, but then they kind of fell off with Golden Globus and Superman 4, and then you had Batman and Robin, which a lot of people are not fans of.
Sorry, Ty.
Yeah, I mean,
of course you would. You would. It literally killed the whole superhero industry, but it's okay. It's okay. I'm not bitter.
All I'm saying is it was definitely not the worst thing I've ever seen.
I know you've seen it. I know.
I was gonna say he saw Superman 4, so
I'd rather watch Superman 4 than Batman and Robin.
It's a toss-up for me. Ask me on a day.
Any
day it's a toss-up.
I guess Superman 4 is...
Maybe because I was younger when I saw Superman 4 than when I saw Batman and Robin.
Yeah, I mean, here's what I'll say about Superman 4. It's like, boy, wouldn't it be... Here's the thing. I think Superman 4 is the kind of film you have to watch as a kid because it is filled with childlike idealism about what if Superman just said, no more nuclear weapons because I'm Superman.
And to Christopher Reeve's credit, like I totally applaud his passion for that, and like that he sunk his own money, like all those things. But it is, I mean, I would rather watch Superman 4 than Superman 3, but
yeah, me too.
Well, really though, the thing about it is that like Superman 4 is the day the Earth stood still.
Yeah,
it is literally that's the exact plot of the day the Earth stood still, which is. You guys are dangerous, and I'm an alien, and I will destroy you if you don't do what I say.
Well, remember our talk with Peter David, Charlie, scrolling down, when he said his take on Superman 4 is like when he was in the UN saying, I'm going to get rid of the world of all nuclear weapons. His version would have been like, wait, what? And then they would go to Lex Luthor and be like, stop him!
Well, yeah, exactly.
And in the comic books. And Justice League, every other iteration, that is what has happened.
Because the minute you think, like I said, it's the kind of thing that is with a childlike sense of wonder, it is probably a very fun film. But if you're more cynical, I think you like Superman 3.
It's another
because it's all about the
if you
grittiness.
Smoke Doobies, you like Superman 3.
It's a good film.
Or whatever Richard Pryor was on at the time.
That's the thing.
Anyway,
it's like, who are the real villains? Multi-billionaire corporations, and they're untouchable. Yeah,
well,
exactly.
Now that they have personhood, especially. But we won't get into it.
That's all Superman 3, man. Superman 3 got that right before anybody else did. Even John Byrne, man. John Byrne stole from Superman 3.
But did you say comics, Lilith?
Oh, I do want to mention that I believe the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina dropped on Netflix on Friday. Today? Is it supposed to be the 21st? I don't know what day it is.
Okay, I got these things drop on Netflix 20th, and like I get no notice.
Oh, today's the 20th?
Yeah.
I have no idea why Netflix doesn't want me to watch their shows anymore. I'm very annoyed.
I heard that their algorithm for targeting is kind of off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't even tell me about Daredevil.
Well, see, okay, I think if it's in your queue, you watch like all the seasons and they expect you to know, but if it's like a new show or nobody's watching like American Vandal 2, I'm like season 2, I'm so sick of them pushing that damn show.
The system is broken if they do not recommend the Marvel product for Charlie Esser.
Ooh,
that,
their system
like,
is broken if they're not recommending Marvel at all, because I haven't seen anything for Daredevil either. I didn't see anything
or is the rating on the wall.
Now, I got to search every time I want to rewatch Iron Fist or Luke Cage to do a podcast.
Oh, how many times do you rewatch it, Iron Fist?
Well, I do rewatch it before.
I know.
I watched the first 3 episodes.
Not for pleasure.
And I had to rewatch it when I did the review of the first one with Maz.
I know.
But no, it's like Luke Cage doesn't show up, and it's like, even like, continue watching, it's not there. It's like, so maybe Netflix is saying, you know what, Marvel, we're not pushing you anymore.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the real mystery we've uncovered here, to be gang.
But like, the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina is supposed to be their next breakout show. So, and they push Riverdale a lot too, because they do have that relationship with the CW a lot. At this point, it's a lot better than Marvel's relationship. So,
yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. I mean, the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina looked really good to me. The
really
trailer
good.
I saw.
Now, are you familiar with the actual Chilling Adventures of Sabrina comics? Because that's what it's based on. It's not supposed to be based on the Melissa Joan Hart that we all know and love.
I know, but what I'm saying is, I saw like 2 witty ants complaining at her, and I said, "Oh, look, it's the Sabrina I know and love from my childhood or my later adulthood, early adulthood." Because I'm old.
But yeah, no, the comic it's based on is amazing.
The kids use these days.
I wish it was a comedy remake of Melissa Joan Hart and had her younger sister, which she's probably old as dirt now too. Now that I think about it,
yeah, the one who did the voice of Sabrina in the cartoon.
Yeah, exactly. Which that cartoon was pretty cool. It was not the classic take on it, but that was still a cool thing too. So
no, it was good. See, I always have a hard problem with that one because it is so not canon with the TV series that predates it. It's like now the ants are like teenagers too. What kind of what crazy Jeremy Bellamy timeline
what kind of Marissa Tomei ant craziness is this?
Basically,
what is the dot? The dot has broken me. The dot has broken me.
But yeah, I want to remind you guys to look out for it because it looks really good, and of course they're dropping it in October to cash in on that Halloween creepitude. So
no, but what I liked about it was that it seemed like it wasn't just dark and gritty. It looked like they were going to have comedy aspects to it.
Yeah.
That they were going to embrace the humor of Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Yeah, much like Riverdale.
All the way back to Sabrina and the Groovy Ghoulies.
Yes.
Which was my first introduction to Sabrina, and I think where Salem first shows up. I don't know if he was in the comics prior to that.
I don't know. I don't think so. But they do have a cat, and he is black. Yeah. He's not a puppet, but he does have a voice emanating from him. So
yes. So
I just wish it was Nick Bakay. Like, oh my God, that would have been so amazing to have him back.
You know how those things go. I know. And not for nothing, I think his Salem voice is maybe better for straight comedy, and they're going to be doing something a little darker. They should have gotten Lauren.
He's still got that big booming bassy voice though, so it could have worked if they would have just asked.
Yeah, but do you want to cast a white actor for a black cat?
It is not the 90s anymore. You're right, though.
Actually, let me just throw this out there because this is this thing that I'm really conflicted on. Does anyone have an opinion on Peter Dinklage playing Hervé Villechaize? Okay, does anyone know who either Peter Dinklage or Hervé Villechaize?
I know who Peter Dinklage is.
And I know Hervé Villechaize, the plane. I know.
Okay, he actually did do other roles too.
I know, but I think that's the one most of these young people like Lilith would know him from.
No, I don't think they would.
I'm just like, until you said that, I was still like, no, I don't.
Yeah, no, he was a character.
Was he a different kind of little person than what Peter Dinklage is, or what's the problem? Like, there's two kinds of little people.
Boy, he wasn't white.
He was a dark-skinned Hispanic. So,
well, I mean, look at what they did to Star Trek movies with Khan. So.
Well, no, I mean, Khan actually, he wasn't Indian, but he was dark skinned. So it's like, yeah.
But no, I mean, in the newer with Benedict
in the newer version, no, that was just the decision to cast a pasty white guy
So
in a role that
that's what I'm saying. Like I said, it's coming back around to be a good time to be a white guy, no matter what you want to do.
Well, no, I think
I mean, obviously, but I'm just saying.
I don't think the
no,
world
it's
of
not
little-
good to do a show in blackface. I'm sorry.
I don't think the world of little people actors has caught up to the rest of Hollywood. So I think they're still at the point where they're like, we have a part for a little person male. Let's get Peter Dinklage.
Yeah,
I would actually be surprised that he's taking
but
it.
you know what?
Honestly.
I'm actually a little. I guess what worries me is I don't want to see Peter Dinklage become the Billy Barty of the 21st century, where it's like, oh, we need a short guy, get Billy Barty. You know, it's like get Peter Dinklage. And,
isn't he already that though? Like honestly.
Well, I mean,
I'm sure Charlie Esser could, but name me another male little person actor right now.
Troy Verner's passed away, so
yeah,
I'm blanking on his name again. I always the guy who played Willow.
Yeah.
That too.
But is he working currently though? Is he doing?
He's working. Yeah, he was working with Ricky Gervais on that show.
Okay.
He's still in every single Star Wars movie. Since,
but he's older, isn't he?
Well, he's a little. Yeah, he's. Actually, I don't know if he's much older than Peter Dinklage. No, I don't think he's older than Peter Dinklage. And not for nothing, Hervé Villechaize. This is like later life Hervé Villechaize. So this is no. I mean, but again, it's also
he's another white guy. I mean,
yeah. I mean, not for nothing. It's. But
Yeah,
I guess what my point
Little
is,
People Hollywood is very small. Oh. Sorry, I didn't have.
No, I guess, and granted, yeah, it's like, look, there are little. It's like, we didn't take it. We didn't like. We didn't do what was it, Tippy Toes, and shrink Antonio Banderas down. Yeah, well, Peter Dinklage is in that movie too. It just, I don't know. And it's like it's one of these things where it's like, because first off, Peter Dinklage is an incomparable actor. There's no argument there. And Hervé Villechaize, it's going to be a very conflicted, dark, and depressing role. And, you know, okay. But it is this thing where, like, you have to have a guy who, and I don't know where Hervé Villechaize, maybe he's a Spaniard. Maybe I'm mistaken in this. Maybe he was not, you know, maybe he was a white Hispanic, as it were, though I'm not inclined to think so. I actually think he was Filipino.
He looks pretty dark.
Yeah. But it's just weird to me. But it's one of these, you know, it's kind of like, you know, Blue Cord, where maybe it's something that people aren't going to complain about. I don't know, you know, because it is. Yeah,
especially for the crowd that they're aiming for, like, honestly, probably.
Well, no, what it takes is a notable Hispanic little person actor to basically it takes a George Takei to complain about the Ancient One.
Oh my.
Oh, okay.
You need someone who said that should have been my role.
Yeah,
so
but
there's so many roles for elderly Asians, and dang it, I've got the comic book credentials. I should have been the Ancient One.
Yeah, but
although George Takei will say that wasn't the reason for his complaint, we all know that was one of the.
Yeah, we all know what's up with Mr. Takei.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, hey, he's an actor.
And in all fairness, it was still a good point, no matter his motivation.
Yeah, I guess my point is like, you know, before I get all onto this Hervé Villechaize, I don't want to get, because I was like, oh, cool, they're casting that lady as the Ancient One. That's a neat idea. And then it was like, oh, how can you like that lady being the Ancient One? It's like, I don't know. I thought it was a good idea. I don't know.
Don't feed the trolls, Charlie.
The Hervé Villechaize series, then was like, that's a racist movie, you know. Okay. Oh, damn it! I knew it was racist. I knew it was racist the whole time, and I endorsed it anyway. Dang it!
Well, I was gonna say, does Peter Dinklage have an Oscar? Does Peter Dinklage have an Oscar? Is this maybe their excuse to give him an Oscar, though?
And
well, it's a TV movie, so
it's TV. Okay.
Yeah, it's HBO.
Okay.
No, they give Emmys for that.
I was gonna say, does he have an Emmy?
Yeah, he has Emmys. He's got like 6 Emmys. He's a multi-Emmy award-winning actor.
Oh wait, it's an HBO movie.
Yeah, it's an HBO movie.
Well, that's where Game of Thrones is. So I wonder if they're just like
threw it to him.
They're like,
I mean, obviously,
we already have him on the payroll.
Obviously, yes, he had the end there. I'm just saying, as a concept beyond that. Yeah. Is it the kind of thing that people are going to be like?
Well, here's your homework for next week, Charlie. Find a suitable replacement for Peter Dinklage.
Like he's sober enough to remember to do that.
What, I mean,
Come talk to me.
well, here's what I'm going to tell you. I guarantee you. Here's what I'm going to tell you. I guarantee you there is a Hispanic American or even a Hispanic little person actor who is doing, little roles on various telenovelas throughout the world who would have freaking gave his left
But they
arm
also need
to be Harvey
name
Phillips.
Yeah,
recognition,
they
too.
want name
Well,
recognition.
yeah, but you know what? That's not for nothing. That's what that's what you always say when you cast a white actor. It's like, well, we could.
Now, Benedict Cumberbatch, they could have kept that. Only if you watch Sherlock, do you know who that is.
Angelina Jolie. Angelina Jolie, who got a lot of flack. Or that redheaded lady that keeps on getting flack for playing characters that are actually white in the original cartoon. Scarlett Johansson.
Oh.
That's what I thought you were going for. I was like,
The Scarlett Johansson robot. They cast her as the Scarlett Johansson. And the argument is, look, Scarlett Johansson is a name draw. That's why we cast her. And we didn't it's not like we made her Asian. We made her Scarlett Johansson as a robot.
a robot.
Yeah, I mean, and not for nothing, there are, as people had pointed out, they actually do make Scarlett Johansson robots in Japan. So this is not that far of a stretch.
And they're only $6,000 USD. Not that I know.
All right, we're going long. Do we want to discuss comics real quick?
Yes, we do.
Well, go ahead, Miss Hellfire.
Oh, I let you boys start with your Marvel garbage. Oh! I'm kidding.
We didn't talk Thor yet.
Yeah, I was going to say, Thor was good.
Okay.
Thor was fantastic. And I just realized something in Thor. It's Adam and Steve in the garden.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it actually is Adam and Steve in the garden. And because we knew that they had Steve. Now, originally there was, but that might have been a couple generations ago where they had Steve and Carol. But now they have Steve and Adam in the garden that Thor is planted.
Lilith,
so it is Adam and Steve in the garden.
Lilith, it's like a future story at the end of the universe. So it's like old man Thor and basically fighting Doctor Doom, who has has the spirit of vengeance, the Iron Fist. He basically has everything.
Supreme. Although not for nothing, how hard is it to be the Sorcerer Supreme if you're literally the last magic user in the universe?
Last man standing. I know. And and guess who's and
where's my thumb? Where's my thumb?
And Lilith,
Supreme now.
Guess who's helping Thor?
Who?
The Phoenix Force, who again, probably the last host that they could find Wolverine.
Oh wow! Wow!
Oh, wait, the Wolverine's coming back.
What?
He gave him the Phoenix Force, but he's coming back.
Wow!
Oh, and the president is.
What? No. In that you watch the next episode, you're going to see Wolverine back.
I know, guy. I know.
That's Thor's mom. He woke her up.
Yeah, but the Earth, didn't they say the Earth died and Thor brought it back? So is Guy even still around?
Of course she is. It's different for gods, Philip.
I know, Ragnarok. They keep getting reborn.
The whole thing just comes back, and Gaia is coming back, and Gaia and Thor. No, you watch, because even when he was just a skeleton, and he got back up, and you can say, oh, well, that was the Phoenix Force. No, it wasn't the Phoenix Force because it was still Wolverine.
Yeah,
it was the Gaia force within him, the force of all life in the universe, continuing on. Because so long as Wolverine is around, life continues. And life continues, so Wolverine is there. Trying to play my words back at me for some reason.
My favorite Marvel book this week, of course, no surprises, Mr. and Mrs. X #4. We already reviewed it. So scroll down. Yeah. But yeah, that was my favorite book. And then my second favorite book was Shuri #1.
Oh, was that good?
Oh,
yeah. It's excellent, actually. I didn't think I was gonna like it. I just picked it up and I'm like, all right, whatever. Huh. But it was good, actually.
I might have to check that out.
Very good.
I thought you were gonna say, did you read Peter Parker's Spectacular Spider-Man 311?
No.
I mean,
No,
my problem is like I even got extra books and I still haven't finished them all. It's like I just finished Exiles 9 from last week. It's fun. They're in an alternate universe where everyone's a character in the Arabian Nights for reasons.
Oh, and if you care, Venom Annual #1 came out. But for Venom fans, just throwing that out there for you.
Oh, this one's a couple weeks old, but the Punisher #2, man.
You finally got around to it.
Yeah, well, it's kind of a theme from the end of the last series into this one, where like Charlie, you'll appreciate this. Like everyone's like getting down on the Punisher. They're like, hey, when Captain Stevel was like running Hydra, weren't you a Hydra agent? And so now the Punisher's like, okay, I'll show you who's Hydra, and he's like doing everything he can to like take out every Hydra agent and leader he can. He's after Zemo now.
Oh boy, that sounds fun. Hey, here's a weird thing. I haven't finished these books yet, but I did pick up my Justice League Darks.
Mm-hmm.
And your challengers. New challenge.
Yeah, my new challenger. I haven't read it yet either. It's in the queue. But here's what I found most fascinating about Justice League Dark. The page ink is very different. It's not glossy. And it's definitely, I think, I don't know if they're doing it to make it seem darker or if they're doing it to
save money.
Justice League
save money, yeah. It was just like when I first saw it, I was like, hey, that paper, that feels like old paper I used to have back in the day. And it was like, oh, that is interesting. So, and it's not like a DC-wide thing because New Challengers still that glossy ink that we've been seeing so much of. So it's a much flatter ink, and it's interesting to me. Like I said, it could be a stylistic choice because it is the Justice League Dark. I just saw the Justice League Dark movie. Lilith, why is Felix Faust Mongolian now? Or was he always Mongolian? And if he's always been Mongolian?
I think that's a New 52 retcon.
Then why is he named Felix Faust?
Because Faustian deals his thing.
Because DC.
Yeah, that New 52 reboot.
It's like you can have him be Mongolian or you can have him be named Felix Faust.
Aliases. Yeah, they tried it.
I mean, you can have it be an alias, that's fine, but then why does he still go by it? I don't know.
Lilith, I'm sure
weird to me.
Lilith, I'm sure you didn't read Batman 57, did you?
No.
Batman versus KG Beast.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah, and
that's what we're doing now. Now they're silly. Okay.
Well, because KG Beast was the one who shot Nightwing, so Batman tracked him down, basically broke his neck, left him in the snow, and I love it because KG Beast says. He's like, get me medical help and I'll tell you who hired me. And Batman says, I'm the world's greatest detective. I can figure that out on my own. He's like, get your own help, and walks away.
That's nice that they remember that he's a detective.
Yes.
Okay. So he's just killing people now.
No, he broke his neck.
He's leaving them to die. My mistake.
He's pulling a Batman.
It's not his fault. KG Beast doesn't have the will to live in penicillin T.
It's all Batman's fault that he shot KG Beast under the chin with his grapple gun and broke his neck. No.
He should have let him hang from the bat plane as a reference. I'm just saying we need to bring that back.
He pulled up Batman Begins. He goes, I am not going to kill you, but I don't have to save you either.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I don't think we should be imitating that anymore. Anyway, just as we've gotten older, we see the faults.
That no killing code's getting kind of cloudy.
I mean, I'm here for it. It's why I like the season 1 of Arrow. But
But what I'll say is the thing is that it is this problem where basically it's the Superman problem. Once you cross that line, it's like I will use my powers for this reason. Even though it is good, I will use my powers for this reason. And then it becomes, well, why don't you do everything else? It was a great episode of Jerry Seinfeld was on Saturday Night Live years ago, and he's playing Superman. And he's on a talk show, and everyone's calling in, and it's like, hey, how come Superman during the garbage strike didn't just gather up all the garbage with his super speed, melt it into a big ball, and throw it into the sun? And he's like, that's not my job. I'm not here to clean up everybody's garbage. But the thing is as funny as that idea is, it is the central premise of the problem of superheroes, which is that once you're willing to cross that line, once you're willing to say, I will do for a positive reason this action, it leads to this point where, well, why don't you do it for every action?
Yeah, but isn't it more believable with Batman? Because like if he kills in self-defense to keep himself from getting killed or someone else. I mean, with Superman,
I thought we saw how
that's not much
for Batman with Batman Beyond, which is one of the reasons why I really like that.
Never again.
That concept, yeah.
Yeah.
See, at least they stuck to the never again.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the fact of the matter is, like I said, does this seem like a never again, or does it seem like, oh, I'm gonna?
It seems like it's something they want Batman to be and do now.
It seems like a
Unfortunately, they
revenge
started with the
killing.
movies.
And in this situation, I think they wanted him to go a little closer to the edge, just because it was the guy who shot Dick Grayson. So
I know, but the fact of the matter is that you can't do that. You can't cross that line because
Well,
then.
let's see how good that book sells, and if people like it.
Well, I mean, hey, if you want to
read.
if you want to read the Bat Punisher, that's fine, And they've done Bat Punisher Elseworlds before.
And
We
again,
talked about that too.
he didn't kill him.
He just left him to die.
No, leave.
He always
okay,
leaves KGB.
that is not a difference. That is not a difference. Here's the thing: when in the '60s Batman, when the Penguin and the Joker and whoever leaves Batman to die, it's not because they said, "Well, he'll figure out a way." They were straight up killing Batman, and they just figured that they had thought of all the variables.
Yeah, but he didn't leave KG Beast in a death trap, though. He just left him laying on the ground in the snow.
He left him laying in the ground in the snow. That is a death trap, Philip. That is the literal definition of a death trap.
Well, no, any of his buddies could come along and pick him up. It's not
Batman's fault he doesn't have friends or he doesn't have a beacon.
Okay, but
he might. I don't even know if he does.
Actually. Well, okay, and if he does, that's great. And then he says, well, because I am the world famous detective, I knew that. But then it retcons the entire premise of the argument. Is I guess maybe
and that's what Batman does. Honestly.
It's like
he does.
If Batman wants to kill, that's fine. If Batman wants to be the Punisher, that's fine. I don't think Batman would be the character he is and as popular as he is if he was.
We're going to find out. These kids are morbid nowadays.
I know.
They're following the movie.
You know what? Here's what I'll tell you.
Hey, Affleck was dropping bodies. Now they're going that route.
Yeah, but what I'll tell you is the Punisher is not as big as Batman.
That's right. Did you see that Batman damned issue?
Oh, ouch. Where's my drop, Phil? I'm still waiting on my drop.
I'm used to talking about Batman's penis. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Did anybody read Astonishing X-Men number 16?
Nope.
I
dropped it. I dropped it after that first arc. I was thinking about going back and maybe picking up.
You need to go back. Oh my god!
Okay.
So seriously, go back.
I like Havoc, so yeah, I might have to pick up this new arc.
Yeah.
Did Havoc used to be a villain?
Well, during
I'm
that,
confused by that.
Well, remember, he's been.
First of all, it's X-Men, so we understand.
He's been brainwashed a few times, and then what was that storyline where a couple of characters got inverted? Remember where we got evil Tony Stark for a while?
I thought maybe he was introduced. You know what it is? I'll tell you exactly what it is his costume and Bullseye's costume were always too similar for me. And as a kid, the only times I ever saw Havoc was him fighting Cyclops. Because it was like brother against brother.
Yeah.
Well, that's the only time you root for Havoc. I'm just saying.
Yeah. So somewhere in my mind, I got it in my childlike imagination that Havoc was a villain. And so whenever I see Havoc, I assume he's going to be a villain. So that he's not a villain is kind of always a little, okay.
He's the prince of bad life choices. I'll put you.
No, that's Tony Stark. You can't have two.
No, he's the captain. Tony
okay.
Stark is the captain. Havoc is the prince. It's a difference.
Queen.
Do any Marvel characters actually make good life choices?
Not the ones that we like Peter Parker or.
Peter Parker made a good life choice.
He married Mary Jane. Hey now.
Yeah, and then he sold it to the devil to save Aunt May.
That was Bendis level writing. Okay.
Bendis and not for nothing, that's a thing with that whole death thing. It's like there's a literal devil. Obviously, there's a literal heaven. Why are you keeping poor Aunt May?
Marvel, no.
I mean, is it like, you know what?
Is there a medium place in Marvel?
Nice, but I know there's some stuff in her past that you might not get into the good place.
There's definitely a medium place in the Marvel universe.
Yeah, well, I mean, everyone goes to the medium place in the Marvel. They've actually established the medium place because when they've gone into the afterlife before, they've actually gone to the medium place a few times.
Yeah, then they bring Nightcrawler back from there or something.
Yeah,
that was a weird demon dimension that right?
Well, no. But I mean, literally, there is because there's so much that's based on the Greek afterlife, and there is like a medium place that was sort of a purgatorial area in the Greek afterlife, which is where you just sort of sat around in the underworld. That actually exists in the Marvel Universe as well. Actually, originally, that used to be the only afterlife back in the old days of Gilgamesh. And there was just that medium place where you just went and you sat around in the underworld as dead people.
Well, you know what they say, hell is other people.
Coming from the woman living alone. All right. All right, we've gone long.
All right, buddy.
All right, so
always wants to spoil our fun.
Lonely Millennial, Lilith Hellfire, where can people get a hold of you?
If you're not watching on YouTube, you can find me on Twitter at Lilith Hellfire, where I'm live tweeting the Arrowverse begrudgingly, Sunday through Tuesday. Join me. And if you want to talk Smallville or Superman, you can find me at Save Me Podcast on Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, and or Instagram.
And remember, she's writing for TV shows now.
Oh, Mark Harmon can get it.
And also, you nerds can fight me.
Oh, she really wants it.
Fight me, nerd.
And you can catch her reading comics.
I love Ben Riley.
All right, Charlie Esser, where can people find you?
And I am Generation X, like the X-Men, which I never
Isn't that a little derivative?
Yes. Hey, you know, that's what they do. You know what I'll tell you about Gen X is they were like, you're Gen X. And I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. You know, we invented whatever. You millennials think you invented whatever. We invented whatever. We were whatevering back when you were in diapers, literally. Okay, you can always follow me, or you can always write to me in a way that we Gen Xers did back in the day at superconnectivityblog@gmail.com. That's superconnectivityblog, all one word, at gmail.com. And of course, follow me on the Twitters as I live tweet Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Gotham and Close coming back soon, maybe someday, at Charlie Esser. That's CharlieEsser. Look for the 2 E's in the middle.
For quality.
Bing.
There you go.
And if you want to get a hold of the Capes and Lunatics, email us capesandlunatics@gmail.com. Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/capesandlunatics, at Capes Lunatics on Twitter. Follow us on the gram, Capes and Lunatics, and the voicemail, 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And we got a lot of good stuff coming in November. We got Captain Marvel episode 2. Charlie Esser and I are going to talk Monica Rambeau. That's right. We're going to have another interview with Fabian Nisaiza talking Nightwing this time, since he's the co-writer now.
And make sure you get that damn drop, Philip.
Yes, boss. I hear ya. All right. So I have homework, so let's get out of here. For another week, we have been the Capes.
Ampersand.
The Lunatics.
There's an enthusiasm we love.
It's Saturday after 9 and I'm sober. What do you want from me?
That was your choice.
If you would have woken up earlier, you could have been drunk by 4.
If you're not drunk by 9 o'clock, you're just not trying, Lilith.
Coming from the master.
The Good Place was worth it. I'll just say that. The Good Place was worth it.
Oh, yeah, to quote Lil Hellfire. I'm no wonder.
Oh, see, I actually drink when I watch those shows. It makes it more fun. That's how you come up with great fan theories like Jason is actually God.
Fade to black.